Sometimes a person holds on to you not because they are weak, not because they lack options, not because they are unable to stand on their own, but because somewhere inside their journey, they ran into too many examples of love that bruised them, disappointed them, or turned into something they no longer recognized. And then, unexpectedly, they found you, someone who showed them that love doesn't always lead to pain. Someone who arrived not with demands, not with emotional chaos, not with sharp edges disguised as affection, but with warmth, patience, and a way of caring that brought peace instead of fear. When someone like that holds on to you, it's often because you accidentally became the safest place they've known in a long time. Maybe even in their whole life. It's a strange thing, isn't it? How you can move through the world not knowing that your presence is doing something extraordinary for someone else. Maybe you weren't trying to be a healer, a guide, or an anchor. Maybe you were simply being yourself, gentle, sincere, or simply honest. But for someone who has lived through storms of betrayal or long nights of loneliness, even small kindnesses can feel like miracles. A soft word can feel like shelter. A patient ear can feel like home. A simple "I'm here" can feel like a reason to breathe again. And sometimes that one person, the one who has been wandering emotionally through deserts of disappointment, finds themselves holding on to you because, in your presence, they finally learned that being loved doesn't have to be terrifying. There are people who have been taught by life that affection always comes with a price, that closeness always comes with eventual abandonment, that their feelings are too heavy or inconvenient for another to carry. They've been told, verbally or through actions, that attachment ends in regret. They've been shown, again and again, that vulnerability invites pain. Then suddenly they meet someone who makes them question that old narrative. Someone who doesn't punish them for caring. Someone who doesn't push them away for needing reassurance. Someone who doesn't turn their softness into ammunition. Someone who sees their past wounds and doesn't run from them. And in that moment, something inside them begins to shift. They hold on, not out of desperation, but because something finally feels right. You may not fully understand what you've done for such a person. They may not even know how to explain it to you. But love, real, gentle, non-destructive love, has a way of touching the deepest, most frightened parts of someone's heart. It reaches past the hesitation, past the walls, past the fear of being discarded. It shows them that not every connection brings harm. It teaches them that affection can be steady, consistent, and kind. And because so few people ever make them feel that way, they cling to it, not to trap you or to demand something unreasonable from you, but because it feels like hope. You became something they didn't think they deserved, or something they feared didn't exist at all. When someone holds onto you because you showed them that love doesn't always hurt, it says something powerful about who you are. You may not realize it, but it takes a certain kind of soul to convince another that love and pain are not synonyms. It takes a person with emotional clarity, empathy, and quiet strength. You didn't just give them attention, you gave them consistency. You didn't just express care, you gave them stability. You didn't just show interest, you gave them emotional safety. And that safety is rare, beautifully, shockingly rare in a world full of broken connections and impatient hearts. You may worry at times whether you can carry that responsibility. You may wonder if you're enough or if you'll disappoint them eventually. But being held onto doesn't mean you owe perfection. It simply means you've made someone feel understood in ways they've never felt before. It means that the way you treat people matters more than you realize. It means that your nature has the power to soften the hardened parts of someone else, and maybe that person holding onto you isn't just someone who feels safe with you, they could be someone who is slowly learning how to trust life again. Piece by piece, breath by breath. You might be teaching them, without even trying, that genuine affection doesn't have to be loud, intense, or dramatic. That real love doesn't demand self-sacrifice or emotional exhaustion. That caring doesn't mean losing yourself. You might be teaching them that love can be slow, gentle, and steady, like a sunrise that doesn't force its light but still transforms the sky completely. Maybe you don't think of yourself as special. Maybe you don't think of your actions as extraordinary. But someone whose heart has been bruised recognizes softness in ways others don't. They see your patience and feel protected. They hear your words and feel valued. They feel your presence and feel calmer than they have in years. That's why they stay close. That's why they hold on. Not because they need you to fix their whole life, but because you've already helped fix a part of them they thought would remain broken forever. For a person who has lived through emotional harm, feeling safe is not a small thing. It's a monumental shift. Safety is not boring. Safety is not lacking passion. Safety is not settling. Safety is healing. Safety is transformative. Safety is the foundation on which real love grows. And if you've provided that to someone without even noticing, then you've given them something life-changing. But here's something deeper. Sometimes the person holding on to you because you showed them love doesn't always hurt is also someone you need in your life. Even if you haven't admitted it yet. Sometimes two people cross paths, and neither realizes at first how much they're helping each other. You think you are the giver, the steady one, the comfort in their storm. But maybe you needed their presence too. Maybe you needed to be reminded that what you offer is meaningful. Maybe you needed someone to see your kindness and not take advantage of it. Maybe you needed to be appreciated in a way that you've rarely experienced. Maybe you both were teaching each other, quietly, that there are still good people in the world. Love doesn't always arrive with fireworks. It doesn't always announce itself with intensity. Sometimes it comes as a quiet recognition between two souls who understand each other's scars. Sometimes it comes softly, like a whisper that says, "You're safe here." Sometimes it comes in the form of someone holding on to you because you are the first person who hasn't caused them pain simply by being close, and that kind of connection is sacred, yet it's important to acknowledge that being someone's safe place is not about being their savior. You don't need to carry their entire emotional world on your shoulders. You don't need to solve all their fears. You don't need to be perfect. What matters is your authenticity, your ability to stay true to who you are while offering kindness without manipulation, affection without expectation, presence without pressure. People who hold on to you in this way don't expect you to fix them, they are simply grateful that you don't break them. And that's enough. Sometimes the reason someone holds on to you so tightly is because they never expected to encounter a love that felt calm. In a world that often glorifies intense, chaotic, unpredictable relationships, calm love can feel foreign, almost unreal. When affection has always been tied to uncertainty, inconsistency, or emotional turbulence, genuine stability can feel like magic. It can feel like a miracle they don't want to lose. They hold on to it not because they want to trap you, but because they want to protect what feels precious. You might not see yourself as someone who gives miracle-level love. But think about this. Someone who has been hurt enough learns to recognize kindness with a sensitivity others don't have. It's like touching warm water after years of cold. Every degree of warmth feels more intense, more healing. So maybe your words, which you think of as simple, strike deeper in their heart. Maybe your gestures, which you consider ordinary, feel to them like proof that good people still exist. Maybe your time, which you give freely, feels like the greatest gift they've ever received. It doesn't mean they are overly dependent. It doesn't mean they cannot stand alone. It means your presence awakens a version of themselves they want to keep alive. The version of them that believes in love again. The version that believes in hope. The version that believes they can be cared for without being harmed. Everyone deserves to feel that version of themselves at least once in their lifetime, and if someone feels that because of you, then you've done something truly meaningful. This world can be harsh. People are often rushed, distracted, or consumed with their own wounds. Genuine emotional connection can feel rare. Real affection can feel endangered. Trust can be difficult to build. And in such a world, a person who makes you feel safe is invaluable. A person who makes your heart feel lighter is irreplaceable. A person who shows you love without pain is unforgettable. There is something incredibly beautiful about being the reason someone believes in soft love again. You are a reminder that gentleness is not weakness. That affection can heal more than it hurts. That closeness can be tender instead of exhausting. That love can feel like a warm place to rest instead of a battlefield. You are proof that love can lift instead of break, but remember this too, you deserve that same gentleness. You deserve someone who holds on to you because you make them feel safe, but who also makes you feel safe in return. You deserve reciprocity, balance, care, and appreciation. Love isn't meant to be one-sided. It's meant to be shared, given back, nurtured by both hearts involved. And sometimes the person who holds onto you because you showed them love doesn't always hurt is also someone who is learning how to give that love back to you, slowly, cautiously, deeply. There's a quiet beauty in mutual healing. In two people realizing, even if gradually, that their presence in each other's lives is not an accident. That their connection has purpose. That they were meant to cross paths at the exact moment they did. One person learning that not everyone leaves, and the other learning that their kindness is not wasted. One learning to trust, the other learning to receive appreciation. Two hearts. Both carrying their own histories, meeting in a space where finally things don't hurt. Sometimes people hold on because they feel peace with you. And peace is something the wounded heart treasures fiercely. They hold on to you because your voice feels like calm after years of being drowned out by noise. They hold on to you because your presence feels grounding when life feels unstable. They hold on to you because your way of caring feels real when everything else felt temporary. They hold on to you because their heart, once afraid of breaking, now feels like it can breathe. This connection is not an accident, and it says more about you than you may realize. You show love in a way that doesn't injure. You show care in a way that doesn't suffocate. You show affection in a way that doesn't demand. You show presence in a way that doesn't overwhelm. Your love doesn't harm, it nurtures. It doesn't bruise, it softens. It doesn't control, it uplifts. It doesn't confuse, it clarifies. That is a rare gift. Maybe you haven't always been appreciated for it. Maybe, in the past, people didn't recognize the value of your gentleness. Maybe others took advantage of your softness because they didn't understand it. Maybe you've been told you're too kind, too patient, or too giving. But understand this. When someone holds on to you because your love healed rather than hurt them, it's the universe reminding you that there is nothing wrong with the way you love. You were never too much, you were simply more than they could understand. Your compassion was not a flaw, it was a blessing given to the wrong people. And now you are giving it to someone who sees the difference. Someone who realizes its worth. People don't cling to what hurts them, they cling to what heals them. And if someone is holding on to you, maybe it's because you've given them something they once thought they'd never feel again: safety, hope, affection, trust, warmth. Maybe you didn't set out to make that impact. Maybe you don't feel like you did anything special. But that's the beauty of it. Real love is often unintentional. It flows naturally. It heals quietly. It enters someone's life like sunlight entering a dark room. Slowly but undeniably, until the shadows begin to fade. Sometimes the person holding on to you is still scared. Scared of losing you. Scared of messing things up. Scared of trusting too much. Scared of believing in something good because they fear it might disappear. But they hold on to you anyway, because you feel worth the risk. You feel worth the hope. You feel worth the possibility of rebuilding themselves again, and that, too, is a form of love, choosing to trust even while trembling. You might wonder if you can carry that weight. You might wonder if you can be enough. But remember, you are not responsible for healing their entire life. You are simply responsible for showing up with honesty and kindness. The fact that you offer love without danger already makes you enough. The fact that your presence alone changes how someone feels about connection already makes you extraordinary. Love doesn't always hurt. It doesn't always demand sacrifice. It doesn't always create scars. Sometimes love is soft hands, steady hearts, gentle communication, and the courage to stay even when staying feels frightening. Sometimes love is two people holding on to each other, not out of fear, but out of recognition. You are good for my soul. If someone holds on to you because you taught them that love doesn't have to wound, then you've planted seeds in their heart that will grow for years. You've given them new beliefs, new possibilities, new comfort. And even if you don't stay in their life forever, the impact you made will remain. You have already changed the way they approach relationships. You have already changed their self-worth. You have already changed the way they understand affection. That is not small, so if you ever feel unappreciated, remember this: someone out there is breathing easier because of you. Someone is sleeping better because of you. Someone is less afraid of loving again because of you. Someone is learning how to hope again because of you. Someone believes in the existence of good hearts because they met yours. You don't always see the effect you have, but it is there. Shaping someone's healing. Love doesn't always hurt. And you are part of the reason someone believes that now. There will be days when they cling a little tighter, not because they doubt your intentions, but because they doubt the world around them. On those days, their fear is not a burden, it's a reminder of what they've survived. When they reach for you, it's because your presence feels like a lifeline woven from gentleness rather than obligation. It's because your love feels like an antidote to every disappointment they've endured. And while it's beautiful to be held in such high emotional regard, it's also important to remember that you are not responsible for everything that hurt them before you came. You don't have to make up for everyone who failed them. You don't have to erase their past, you only need to give them something better in the present. Healing isn't about forgetting. It's about replacing old memories with new ones that hurt less. You're helping them do that, one moment at a time, and in return, they might be healing you too, in ways you haven't yet recognized. Because when someone holds on to you with sincerity and gratitude, it affirms that your way of loving has value. It teaches you that your softness is a strength, not a weakness. It reminds you that emotional warmth is wanted, not wasted. Their appreciation becomes a mirror through which you see your own beauty, perhaps for the first time in a long time. Some people stay in your life because they're afraid of being alone. Some stay because they need validation. But then there are the rare souls who stay because your love awakens the best parts of them. They hold on because they feel seen in a way that makes them want to grow, not hide. They hold on because your presence inspires courage rather than fear. They hold on because loving you doesn't hurt, it heals, uplifts, and brings them peace. This kind of bond isn't possessive, it's transformative. Sometimes you meet someone at a time when both of you need exactly what the other carries. Maybe you didn't plan it. Maybe you weren't even looking for a connection. But life has a way of placing the right souls in front of each other exactly when their hearts whisper, "I'm tired." And suddenly, like two rivers converging, your paths merge, and something inside both of you begins to flow more easily. You might start to laugh more. You might feel more understood. You might soften in places you didn't know had hardened. And maybe that person feels the same. Maybe their heart, once guarded like a fortress, now opens its gates, not out of fear but trust, all because love, with you, doesn't hurt. And let's acknowledge something important: holding on to someone because they are kind is not dependency. It is recognition. Recognition of comfort. Recognition of belonging. Recognition of emotional compatibility. Recognition of a rare connection that feels too genuine to ignore. When a soul recognizes another soul that feels safe, it holds on, not out of need but out of appreciation, and it's okay to be held on to. It's okay to be valued. It's okay to be loved deeply by someone who finally found peace in you. Sometimes you are the anchor that keeps someone steady while they learn to navigate their own emotions. Sometimes you are the reminder that they are lovable even after being broken. Sometimes you are the lesson that affection doesn't have to sting. That closeness doesn't have to be dangerous. That trust doesn't have to be foolish. Your presence can be a turning point in someone's life, and maybe this connection will evolve into something beautiful, something balanced, mutual, and strong. Or maybe it will simply be a chapter of healing for both of you. But no matter what form it takes, the truth remains: you gave someone a reason to believe in gentle connection again. You showed someone that love, in its purest form, is not destructive but restorative. You became proof that tenderness still exists. So when you feel someone holding on to you emotionally, don't immediately assume it's a burden or that you're being asked for more than you can give. Sometimes it's simply a sign that your heart is doing good things in the world. It's a sign that your kindness is meaningful. It's a sign that you've made someone feel something they didn't think they were capable of feeling again. Someone is holding on to you because you showed them that love doesn't always hurt, and that is one of the most powerful, beautiful, and human things you can ever do for another soul. It's a gift, and it's a reflection of the love inside you that continues to ripple outward, touching lives in ways you may never fully comprehend. You are someone's safe place. You are someone's reminder that love is still good. And if someone is holding on to you because of that, then you've already changed a life.